Hey everyone, welcome to Mission Inspired, a CPG chat. I'm your host, Rusty Jones, co-founder of Hello Water. On today's episode, we have the amazing Mike Fata. He is all over the CPG industry, entrepreneur, investor, mentor building, natural product companies, aspiring author, keynote speaker, and of course, a podcast host. Welcome to the stage, Mike Fata. How are you doing, bud?
Doing well, Rusty. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. Like I said, obviously it's a CPG chat. You're well versed in that. It sounds like you've been at this, 25 years, starting with a great company and a couple exits, and then you seem to be a great mentor and role model for those of us, trying to play the same game. Obviously it's a challenge. So any support and people to learn from like yourself, it's amazing. For here, I'd love to just kind of hear the story of how you got into this, and what do you have got going on today. So, floor is yours, bud.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Canadian, Midwest, born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and raised with a poor single mom. And I had the urge to be an entrepreneur and to work pretty early in my life, and that drove a number of things. One, deciding that I wanted to drop out of school when I was 13, and with my mom's support, I did that. And so I've been working really full time since I've been 14 years old. And at first, it was construction jobs and working as a stock delivery boy in retail, which gave me a little bit of experience actually fast forwarding, and so just wanted to work and wanted to make my own money, but I was really driven by that kind of survival instinct, and that collided with changes in my health. I fell prey to fast food when I was a teenager, and had too many McDonald's hamburger day and hot dog days, and next thing you know, I was weighing 300 pounds when I was 18, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and decided to do something about it, and went on a whole health journey, which I've continue to be on now for 25 years, and really learned about proper diet and nutrition and exercise, and lost over 100 pounds. And that led me to falling in love with hemp and hemp foods, and founding Manitoba Harvest in 1998. And yeah, we grew that into a very successful business. But I think, even after exiting that business, I'm interested in helping other entrepreneurs, because I do want to make this world a healthier place. I enjoy health. I still, 25 years later, I'm highly interested in tweaking my own diet and lifestyle to feel better. And I want that for everybody.
That's amazing. Congrats on the success of hemp, and hemp's come such a long way in 25 years. I'd love to learn a bit more of what some of those first trials and tribulations were in that industry, and how it's changed today.
Yeah, well, I say the only thing harder than selling hemp foods in 1998 was being a guy with a ponytail selling hemp foods in 1998. Definitely, because hemp was outlawed in the 30s, and a whole bunch of misinformation campaigns that hemp and marijuana were both, the same thing, which is not true. They're relatives in the cannabis family, but not the same plant. But there's a lot of confusion, and so even when we started the business, I remember my first trade show selling hemp seed oil at, and people would just walk by and laugh and be like, no, I'm not into that, like, into what, into healthy, healthy food that you probably haven't heard of before. So just a lot of misinformation, which drove us into becoming really a business focused on education. Our marketing was really educational marketing for the first number of years, and afterwards I learned that the positive in that is that hemp has a mystique to it, that people want to learn more. The right people want to learn more, and so that really, as we started to play into that and use it as a strength, we rallied a community that's grown to probably over 1 million customers strong nowadays for the brand.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's crazy to see how far it's come. I know my co-founder Tom. When we first met, he was out hustling a hemp energy drink, and I was hustling a high brew coffee. And so just from then to the use occasions I see of it now, it's pretty amazing. It is such a great product that hopefully continues to grow and gets more mainstream.
Yeah, I
But
think it, yeah, I think it's just starting. And so the U.S. just legalized hemp for commercial production in 2018. Canada legalized it in 1998. So there was 20 years where we could grow it in Canada. Products were being sold in the U.S., but I think it's really only been 4 years, and two of those years with a pandemic. So I think there's a lot more to come on. From hemp foods, but also the fiber and other aspects of the crop.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what I was mostly excited about meeting up with you and having this chat was, we have a lot of advisors and a lot of great business people helping us build what we're building over here at Hello Water. But it's always nice to talk to that person who has literally it from concept to fruition to, in your fortunate case, an exit multiple times. What are some of the? I know you're board member and advisor to a lot of great brands today. What are some of those initial conversations you're having with these young entrepreneurs? That is there an aha moment? Is it the product that you're most attracted to? Is it the people? Is it a combination? What's when you meet people like myself for the awesome team at Midday Squares, what is it that just kind of attracts you to some of these products and brands and people?
Yeah, well, I'm an operator, so I built a business from zero to 100 million bucks, and I know how hard it is to do that. It takes great product, and it takes great people, and then a whole bunch of resources. So, my investment thesis is quite simply products that I have in my house and I enjoy in my house as a consumer, and I see that there's future potential because people don't know about the product yet, and then meeting the founders and the founders being authentic and unique and having the competencies to really an interest to really grow a business. I think if you get good product and good people like that, the whole the money aspect of capitalizing a business and strategy and really putting a growth plan together. After 25 years, I can't turn that off. It's
Yeah.
just so baked into me. So it really is about the product and the people. But to your point on some of the first conversations, even I, I think too many entrepreneurs in CPG get fixated around stores and distribution and how many stores and that you're in and what's the velocity per week per store that you're selling, and those are really critical things from a sales standpoint. But it's one step removed away from the consumer, and I always want to think about the core consumer, which is really your customer. The distributor and the retailer are in the middle of you and your consumer, but you need to really understand the consumer. And so I like to think about, from a brand standpoint, what's the minimum viable community size to support your business at the scale that you're trying to set your business up at. So, if you're break that down a little bit, like if you want to create $1 million brand, and that your average customer buys $100 a year, you need 10,000 consumers in your community to really support your brand at that scale. And so what's the lowest cost, highest impact, maybe even most fun way to get at those 10,000 consumers and develop them into lifelong customers? So I like to think about things like that, and I like to talk to entrepreneurs and brand owners. So it really operationalizes their plan, because if not, entrepreneurs get fixed in headlines and say, oh, look at XYZ company raised 10 million, raised 100 million, they're doing this much in sales, and they don't really necessarily see the stepping stones and the path that it takes to get there. And so I think it's all about operationalizing that and focus on the consumer.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, obviously these social sites, whether it's LinkedIn or some of these B2B sites, it's a lot of that, you know, look at me, and less testimonies about, hey, here's a customer that we never met, here's their story, and they've now put us on a pedestal, and we are now here to continue to be a service and a product for them, as opposed to again helping these great retailers grow their business, obviously part of it. And then I echo the sentiment on just finding those advocates that then in turn tell their friends and family, and it's definitely a big fan of Tom Bilyeu and what they did at Quest, and that was really what I learned pretty quickly from just listening to him talk. It was like we were at a kitchen, we found our first customer, our first 100 people, and we just focused on them, and we made them a part of the business as much as we could, and then it took off from there. So that's that's great advice. What's what are you working on today? What are you just focused on the? I know you and Fleischman have a CPG toolbox. A big fan of what he's done. You know, Basically when you're starting out, and especially in the beverage world, you go to YouTube and BevNet. There he is. Multiple products, and he's your educator. So that's a good collaborator to have. I'm curious to learn more about that, and then just what's on the horizon.
Yeah, I'd say most of my time nowadays is giving back. I'm a recovering entrepreneur, so I'm not yet fit to operate a business, but I like being involved in businesses and I like giving back. So, there's several forms of mentorship. Fatafleischman.org is one that Greg and I put together, just a little over a year ago. Actually, version 2.0 of the site just launched last week, and it is a toolbox. Basically, all of Greg's and I's files, forms, templates, training documents that we use to start up and grow our businesses and successfully exit our businesses. And we are just sick and tired of businesses charging entrepreneurs for access to information that should really be free. And sometimes it's hard to go and find that stuff on the internet, or find it if you don't have the right advisor group. So, we've formed it as really mass mentorship, self-serve mass mentorship. You can go on there and get an investor list, or example of an investment presentation deck, or a co-packer list, or tools to do financial forecast or product forecast. And we've had over 10,000 entrepreneurs now access and use the toolbox, and so it's growing in popularity, and we're just trying to make it easier for entrepreneurs, from that side of business. I've also, I launched a Founder to Mentor podcast this year, which is just really bringing some of the world class founders of CPG forward for some conversation, so that other entrepreneurs can learn and really grow personally and professionally. And then I spend a lot of time talking one on one with founders, and just understanding their business and kind of where they're at, and offering them some advice of what I would do if I was in their situation, and mentorship kind of one on one that way. And then from a business standpoint, I have investments in 8 companies right now. I think I'm building a world class portfolio of brands that are all on a very strong venture growth stage of their business, and so I help some of those companies out as well with some advice or some mentorship or guidance, and that that keeps me busy. And I'm also writing a book, so
There
put it
you
on.
go. I was about to ask. So you
Yeah,
got it all. I haven't heard the author yet. Where's the book at?
yeah. Well,
What
I just,
what's
I
that called?
just,
When's that coming out? Oh, there it is, the manuscript.
yeah, I just got the complete first draft of the manuscript. Yeah, it's going to launch New Year 2023. So, and it's been on my to do list for 20 years, and just
Yeah.
no title
What's the
yet.
premise?
Yeah, I
What's
can
the
tell you.
premise? Is it kind of a
The
collection of
premise of it,
stories, or
yeah,
is it?
the premise of it is it really unconventional paths lead to success. I think the reason that I put myself out there, one, it's personal growth and healing for me, but for a lot of entrepreneurs, they can understand that you don't need rich parents, you don't need to go to the best school, you don't really need any kind of hand up to you need a passion and be interested in something, and then put your full focus and attention there, and go through enjoy the journey of lifelong growth, and that's what the book's all about. It's part my origin story and how I grew up and success that I've created, and I really want to put that out there with some lessons for entrepreneurs and people to think about how they better themselves, and really set themselves up to create success, even if they're coming at it from an unconventional path.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've become a big fan of a lot of these biography books that are telling that, hey, I came from here. Even if it's not a bottom to the top type of story, it's, oh, that happened to me. So I'm not alone in knowing that I wasn't supposed to know that as soon as I, you know, put a website up with a product on it, just those things like that. And, besides your book, what are some other books that, some of the other entrepreneurs should check out that really kind of not only gave you some operational knowledge, but maybe just, wow, that's how that happened. Okay.
Yeah, we actually have a full book resource section on fatafleischman.org. But
Nice.
I'd say, I go in between studying health and nutrition for the last 25 years, and then studying business as well. I think they just go so hand in hand. I've talked openly about, I think, entrepreneurship is like, you need to train like an athlete to focus on your health, your sleep, your nutrition, your exercise program, your de-stressing, whether that's meditation or breathing exercises, like all those pieces of foundation of being in good health, or you're not going to be able to compete at the level that you really need to for longevity and entrepreneurship. And some of the I put a throw out there for Ben Greenfield's book Boundless that he launched last year. I think it's a modern day like health Bible that has kind of all the aspects for people to, even if they're not currently educated about some of those aspects of sleep and nutrition and exercise and stuff. That's a good place to start. Yeah, I've read all the old school business books from founders and entrepreneurs, especially in our industry, that built it. And whether it's Gary Erickson's book on the making of Cliff Bar, on Ben and Jerry's book. I think those are just classics and give a good perspective on a path, even though all entrepreneurs' path is different. I like books like Good to Great, just understanding kind of how you build a solid business and how you build a solid brand. But yeah, there's a full list on in the toolbox, so I'd point people there for sure.
That's great. We'll put that in the notes for the when we publish this. That's awesome. Anything else you want to share? I know what. Again, thanks again for coming. This is just amazing. I love talking to people who've done it before, especially when you're living it currently. It's definitely a grind and a roller coaster, and you celebrate the wins and don't take the losses too seriously, but try to fail forward every day is kind of what the mantra's been on most of these conversations that I've had. But yeah, love to.
Yeah, I think it's if entrepreneurs aren't already considering it, especially in CPG, we're living in a time where personal brand is probably more important than it ever has been. It's I think personal, we know that brands are all about authenticity and differentiating yourself. Very easy to differentiate yourself when as a personal brand because people are like snowflakes. No one, even though we're similar, everyone's different, and so putting yourself out there and sharing the story of the business that you're trying to create. And some people, just struggle with that because they think that their story is not interesting, or they don't think that, but hey, even if you're an entrepreneur that's been in business for a year or two, there's hundreds of entrepreneurs that are looking up to you because you're already down the path forward of where they want to be. And so at the same time, it's the easiest way to create community when you put yourself out there and kind of just talk about what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're going to rally other people that are in a similar camp. It's one of the reasons why I love LinkedIn. I was never really into social media. Just when we started the business, the fax machine was still the form of communication. And I've even went through evolutions, but because we were doing so much with the business and brand, I didn't put myself personally out there on social media. But over the last 2 years since the pandemic and trade shows got canceled and stuff, I did, and I could just see the incredible value for helping in business. And so that'd be my words of encouragement. If people have been thinking about it, just do it. If if you don't know how to start, at LinkedIn, maybe specifically because there's some good organic growth opportunity. There's a simple course or two that you could take just to kind of organize your thoughts and organize your story and put a plan together and schedule some time in your day. Don't make it as an afterthought, because it really is a good form of marketing and sales for your brand, for your business.
Yeah, I got to concur and echo everything because I literally have a note to go do some TikTok videos. And again, thinking, I'm this 40-year-old dad. I'm not a TikTok star, but it's again, like you said, people won't know that you have this amazing thing unless you tell them. And there's multiple platforms that you have to be a part of. The business to business side of LinkedIn, but it's even developing consumers for that, and then TikTok obviously growing, and just again, it's I have a great co-founder, and he's got his story of this ride, and I've got my story and my journey. So just being able to share it, and if we connect with somebody in a different way, it's just a matter of putting it out there. And the best time to do it is yesterday. So I got some TikTok videos to do, clearly. But again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you jumping on this. Where can listeners check you out? Follow up with any questions or any mentoring opportunity. Feel free
Yeah,
to throw it
LinkedIn's
in
probably
here.
the best. I'm active on LinkedIn on a daily basis, and people can drop me a note there or get engaged there. You can also sign up at mikefata.ca. My website is going to be launching shortly, but there's a newsletter sign up there to get notified of my book and some of the other contests. And I tend to give away kind of mentorship, and that we either get that on LinkedIn or at mikefata.ca.
That's great. All right, bud. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks again for what you're doing for the community. I will send you some of this info, and if anybody has any questions, feel to reach out to Mike on the line. I will. I will chat with you later. Appreciate it, sir.
Awesome. Thanks
Enjoy
for
the
having me.
day.